In this video, I will show you a simple exercise that will help you clear your mind of negative thoughts. This exercise consists of two parts. For the first part, please take a pen and a piece of paper and write down, as fast as you can, 10 words that express feelings or emotions. For example, love, fear, confidence, compassion, and excitement. Since I already used these words, you can't use them too, and you'll have to come up with your own words. If you don't have a pen and a paper at hand, you can use a text editor such as Notepad, Microsoft Word, Google Docs, or even Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. Just please don't use a mobile device because, first of all, this exercise requires you to be as spontaneous as you can and to come up with your own words, not to use an autocomplete software. And we'll need those words in the second part of the exercise, so you'll need to be able to see all the 10 words you thought of, nicely aligned, one below the other. Now, given that the average handwriting speed is somewhere between 5 and 20 words per minute, in about 30 seconds, 1 minute, you should be able to finish this first part of the exercise. As I said, you need to be as spontaneous as possible and write as fast as you can, 10 words that come to your mind and which express feelings or emotions. So, whenever you're ready, pause the video and write down 10 words, except for fear, love, compassion, confidence, and excitement. Are you done? Perfect. Now, look carefully at the words you just wrote, think about them, try to apply their meaning to a situation you went through or a situation you might experience, and assign a number to each word. For a negative word, you will assign a -1. For a word that you consider it neutral, a 0, while for a positive word, a +1. For instance, my words were love, fear, confidence, compassion, and excitement. I hope you all agree with me, love will definitely get a +1. It's a good thing to be loved, and when you're in love, you have that nice feeling throughout the body and life seems more beautiful. My second word, fear, will definitely get a -1. To my third word, confidence, I would give it a 0. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing to have confidence and to be confident, but, as I said, in the second part of the exercise, we'll analyze the words and try to apply their meaning to some situations that have happened or that could happen to us. There are some cases in which too much confidence turns out not to be such a good thing. Many times you have to use reason, be understanding, and sometimes even be a little humble. For example, if you walk alone on the street at night and some guys try to start a fight, you can't always rely on your hero skills and fight back. Sometimes you have to try to solve the problem peacefully. It's just a simple example, but there are many cases in which too much confidence in certain situations or in the people around you can sometimes lead to unwanted consequences. Plus, overconfidence can sometimes cause people to become rigid and even dogmatic. So, I'd go with a 0 for confidence, or maybe, let's say, a 0.5, but definitely not a +1. My next word was compassion. I would give it a +1, and not just because there are tons of scientific studies showing that there is a strong connection between compassion and general health, increased happiness, and longevity. And, finally, my last word was excitement. As in the case of confidence, I would give it a 0 because the body reacts to excitement in much the same way it reacts to feelings of fear or stress, by releasing the hormones adrenaline and noradrenaline. Although these hormones trigger what's known as the fight or flight response, which primes people to face dangerous situations, too much adrenaline and noradrenaline can be dangerous to the heart, brain, and other organs. Thus, excitement gets a 0. Now, based on the principle I just described, assign a +1, a 0, and a -1 to each word you wrote, and you can even see what was your psychological state at the time you wrote the words, if your thoughts and memories were more positive or more negative. All you have to do is remember the simple exercise and give a -1, a 0, and a +1 to the words you hear, whether you hear them in your mind in the form of thoughts or you hear them at work, on the radio or the TV, or those you read, and try to eliminate as much as you can the words to which you would assign a -1. Try to replace them with words that you would give a +1 or at least a 0. If you can't replace them, just simply ignore those words, don't let them drag you into a negative state. It can take some time, but trust me, It worked for me and for many people I told about this exercise, and I can assure you that you can rewire your thinking by actively training your brain to think positive thoughts instead of negative ones. I started practicing this simple exercise a couple of years ago, and honestly, now I have to think really hard to come up with a negative word or to have a negative emotion. If you like the exercise, please share this video with your friends and family. And, if you haven't done it already, make sure you subscribe for more exciting videos. Thank you very much.